Hey YouTubers, what's up? Yours truly. I am back to post a quick response video to my last thread that I put up about a week or so ago. Finally got a chance to jot down a few answers here. This may not be as organized or as together as some of my other thread responses. Some stuff I pulled out, some stuff I didn't. Just kind of jotted some notes here really quick, but just wanted to give a response in general. So here we go. Oh, playing in the background, AC/DC Ball Breaker cassette. Decided to whip out the cassette this evening. But anyway, let me move right along, because this might take a while. Question number 1. Name and describe a trend that defines a group or genre that you really like. Well, there were two that really kind of came to mind right off the bat. With as many different things as most of us like, obviously there's hundreds we can choose from, but the two that I immediately thought of, number 1 was Coldplay. As a group, they do what almost like the label as the Phil Collins effect in a lot of their music, which I really like about them, and it's something they consistently do over many of their albums. And what I mean by the Phil Collins effect is the song Air of the Night. It's one of those strange songs that, I don't know if you ever listened to it when you've been driving on the highway or something like that, but it's a song that makes you kind of urge for it to pick up and then kind of, explode and go over the edge. It's kind of like this build-up effect that's in it. And of course, when, Phil comes in with the drums and everything, that's kind of when the song really explodes and takes off. Well, I think Coldplay has this very interesting way of kind of doing that in a lot of their songs too, like speed of sound, talk, but I think especially it's really clear in the song Clocks, where there's just kind of this nice little rhythm that's going that you just have this feeling that you really want it to build up, and then finally when he goes into the part where he says, and nothing else compares, and the song kind of explodes, and they just have this really unique way of putting that build up inside of their songs, and there's something about them that I love. So again, those of you that love Coldplay, you probably know what I'm talking about. Those of you that hate them, obviously don't care, but and it's tends to be what I find with Coldplay. People tend to love them or hate them. There's not a lot of, Coldplay's okay. You don't get a lot of that. The second trend, I'm still sticking with a group instead of going to a genre or something overall, and it's with Godsmack. And the trend, and the thing I like about Godsmack is Sully Ermine has done pretty much all the writing, especially up to the point of, I think, Godsmack 4. And the thing you have to keep in mind about him is he was first in the music and the metal world as a drummer, and that's kind of what he did until he decided to step out front, which even a lot of his friends he joked about in his book were, kind of making fun of him, so to speak, for talking about him stepping out front. But anyway, you can really tell his influence as a drummer because especially a lot of the earlier, I shouldn't say earlier, still Godsmack to this day, even Oracle, they're a very rhythmic type of band. They have this really unique way of taking one or two chords, oftentimes just one chord, and just playing it over and over in this rhythm that just captures you in this punching type stuff. I have one piece kind of queued up off of their album Awake, and it's the song Awake. It's like the last part of the song, which is probably my favorite. But even like on this album, the song Bad Religion, that song is 3 minutes and 13 seconds long, and I bet 2 minutes, if not 2.5 minutes of it, is played with one chord, but it's just one rhythm over and over. And let me kind of give you a taste of what I'm talking about here. You'll get an idea of what I mean by that rhythm. See, they'll jump in on one chord like that, then it's just right there. That same chord been playing over and over in a rhythm. I mean, I absolutely love that. There's no better feeling to be at a concert. That kicks in, and he's got this wall of sound just hitting you, and the light effects, and the crowd's going crazy. Definitely one of the best concert moments over. And really, it's this part of this song in the concert, it's awesome. So you see, again, it's just kind of the same chord over and over. And even, I think I have this, see if I left it in here. So I think my Godsmack 4 CDs, and I can give you another really quick taste of what I'm talking about for those of you who may not be familiar with them. Yeah, it's still in there. thing, same chord over and over. But it's so awesome because, like I said, you have the drums just kind of kicking in, and when you have two guitars and a bass just all pounding that same chord and that same rhythm, when you see them live, just the punch you get from it is awesome. So, I'm taking a lot of time on that, but that's definitely why I love Godsmack. And of course, I like Kurt Hammond from Metallica and Dave Mustaine and all your technical guitar players. That's awesome. But at the end of the day, when I'm at a concert, that is exactly what I want to hear. Just a wall of sound just pounding. And Godsmack does that as well as anybody. So anyway, move right along. Question number 2. Concert coming to your town this Saturday. 3 bands. You choose the lineup from who's opening, who's headlining. For the first group up, I actually narrowed it down to choosing between Motley Crue, Lionel Richie, AC/DC, or Kiss. Those are the 3 bands I narrowed it down to. And I thought I would have Kiss open, because I think if you're a big rock and roll fan, how can you not see Kiss at least once in your lifetime? So Kiss with makeup opens. After that, it got real simple. Godsmack's coming on second, Metallica's headlining. Pretty much that simple. Kind of want to throw AC/DC in the mix of that first group too, but again, I think Kiss would still win out there. So those are my 3 bands. Question 3. Name 1 to 5 of your favorite intro licks. I didn't really put these in any order. There's only one that I really feel is number 1. The rest are just all ones I want to mention, so I'm kind of cheating here a little bit. And again, not quite the order. I didn't pull everything out. But White Zombie, Thunder Kiss 65, that intro to that kind of goes off the same rhythmic basis I was saying about Godsmack. Led Zeppelin, pick an album, pick a song. I mean, there's an infinite number of intro licks you can pick with them. Let's see. I'd probably say maybe Immigrant Song or A Whole Lot of Love. I don't know. Again, too many to choose from. Next, I would say AC/DC. Exact same thing. Pick an album, pick a song. Bunch you can choose from. I chose to represent them with Highway to Hell. I think that's one of the ultimate intro licks. Another one I'll throw in there I didn't pull out were Guns N' Roses, Paradise City, and not the little picking that takes place at the very beginning, but after the drums kick in, really kind of the actual guitar solo that kicks in after the drums come in. I've always felt that is kind of like a Leonard Skinner, Sweet Home Alabama type moment. It has that type of feel of how much you recognize it and the energy that it brings about the song that's coming up and all that good stuff. So I threw Guns N' Roses in there. Of course, I'm going to show this album, Metallica, but again, that's one of those pick an album, pick a song. Master of Puppets, Seek and Destroy are definitely 2 of my favorites as far as guitar intros. What else did I pull out of there? Oh, Kiss Alive. Especially the Alive version of Detroit Rock City. Very good intro there. And so I told you guys I cheated. But really quick. Randy Rhoads, Suicide Solution with Ozzy Osbourne. Cheating big time. Stone Temple Pilots, Dead and Bloated. One of the most powerful punch licks as far as intro licks. I also want to throw Wolf Mother 10,000 Feet in there. Second to the last one here, and probably not one you expected to see, but Run DMC. It's Like That, not the album version. On the album version, there's some beats that take place, then the vocals kick in. But if you see them perform It's Like That in the movie Crush Groove, the way they perform in the movie, one of the best intros of any song ever, right there. So not a guitar lick, but definitely one of the best intros ever. Now, my absolute number 1 guitar intro of all time, and again, we're talking about, I'm saying that over Zeppelin, I'm saying it over Hendrix Purple Haze, and just all the stuff in the music world. I have that in here too. Let's see, where did I put that? You guys are probably going to kind of flip when you hear what it is. But to me, this is the greatest guitar intro of any song ever. I don't know what it is about that lick, but it is just pure, it's straightforward, it's clean, I don't know, it's just the perfect guitar lick in my mind. And so again, with all the music and stuff out there, I've never would think that Rat would have ended up being that, but the perfect guitar lick. So that's my favorite guitar intro of all time. Where'd my little sheet go? There we go. Alright, moving right along. 1 to 5 of your favorite non-guitar solos. The first ones that came to mind, The Doors, Light My Fire, that organ solo, almost the whole song, but the organ solo obviously is a great one. The next one will come off this album here, or the soundtrack of Better Off Dead, the song Arrested by You by Rupert Hines. And again, not the album version, but the movie version. In the movie version, there's a saxophone solo at the very end of the song that he plays to her while he's cooking dinner for in the diner or whatever. That saxophone version is not on the album, which really sucks because it's one of my favorite non-guitar solos in a song. It really captures everything about that song. Next, another one you probably wouldn't expect, Milli Vanilli. The song I'm Gonna Miss You. When I originally bought the cassette way back when it first came out, at the very end of the first verse, there was about a 4 to 5 second saxophone solo that I have not been able to find in any of the other releases that I've stumbled across, cassette, CD, or LP, which really kind of sucks. But it's not even necessarily a solo, but I just remember that little 5-second sax playing that came in after the first verse was just one of the most moving things in the world to me, and I don't know why. It just was. Bruce Springsteen, Ghost of Tom Joad, the harmonica solo in that. Got to choose that one. And then Bruce Springsteen again, and the one I would choose off of here is the saxophone solo, that 20-second saxophone solo at the end of the song Secret Garden. Again, it's one of those moving, powerful things, especially when you actually listen to it while you're watching the video. Really, really good stuff. I mean, that song in and of itself is a very powerful song. It's kind of talking about the inner places within a woman, you know, kind of who she is, her deep secret areas that if when you touch that, you are allowed to come into that kind of special connection that you have. And, you know, with all of that, that saxophone solo just really summed all of that up. So it's one of those very, very moving things. So that would be one. And my number one favorite, what do I do with the cover? I think it's up here. My number one favorite non-guitar solo of all time. See, I tried to cue it up here, see if it'll kick in the right spot. Well, let me let it play first before I start talking. I have no idea where that came from. That is just absolutely incredible. So obviously, you know, the very end of My Hey Hey by Neil Young, that is just the most moving thing in. One of the things that makes music so special to me when I share with people that maybe don't understand this, like the way that you guys do, is, you know, I say there's moments like that. You know, there's moments that Hendrix has. There's moments like Bob Marley doing No Woman, No Cry, that is kind of enough to give you physical evidence that there is a God, because stuff that powerful just can't come out of nowhere. And, you know, there's just very few songs and few things I can put in that category. And it usually falls under the names of people like Hendrix and Bob Marley. Neil with that fits right into play with those three on that level. I don't know what it is about that, but that's just so moving. Not with playing now, obviously, but the end of My Hey Hey. So that's my favorite non-guitar solo of all time. So Dan, I'm sure you'll appreciate that one because I know Neil's your boy. Question number 5, video idea you ever had for a song? I've had to ask that because this is one that I've had for years, like I think going back to high school actually. But it was for the song The World I Know by Collective Soul. And if you know the lyrics to that song, you know, it's more or less kind of a guy walking around seeing the things that are going on in the world, kind of wondering what's happened to the world, why are things getting so cold, and like he's crying and actually sad because he's like, look, all this stuff, and this is the world that I know. This is just kind of the way it is. So I've always had a video idea about kind of a storyline going throughout the video, where you maybe don't even see the band in the video. Some really, you know, just bad, rough guy commits some big, horrible crime, and you show him going through court. You know, he gets sentenced to death, and so he's in prison. He's dealing with all the rough stuff there. And then towards the very end of the video, when there's like at the end of the song, there's almost like this guitar, not a guitar, but like a violin or some type of orchestra type of thing that kicks in that leads up to the very end. It's like the climactic end towards the song. And when that part kicks in, they would show the cops going and getting the guy out of his cell, getting ready to take him to be executed. He's kicking and screaming, you know, fighting and everything. He doesn't want to die. They take him into the room, and you know they get him all set up, and he's in a room where everything is black, and all you can see is him in his outline, kind of like a face shot like this. And then right at the very end of the song, with this kind of this one last chord that they play that ends the song, what you would see is kind of him falling backwards, and he falls into a pool of water and comes back up. And kind of the message of the song would be they weren't really killing him physically, but he was like being baptized to where his life was being changed, and he was no longer that criminal. So he killed the bad part of him and kind of turned his life around. And so again, I don't know, I've always had that image of that taking place where it really kind of confuses you, or you're thinking the worst about him, but then at the end of the video what it sums up is that no, he had a spiritual awakening that changed his life around. So I don't know, just an idea I always had that I thought would have just worked really well with that song, or the song put those images in my head, I guess. So anyway, enough rambling. Those are my answers. It's been a while since I've done a video this long. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will talk to you soon, YouTubers. All right, take care.